Good morning, afternoon, evening, my wonderful tribe out there. Hope you're doing amazing in circus world right now. Pretty crazy stuff by the day. But today I'm going to speak about something else, more so to do with kind of the targeting and the energetic interference that we have, and how these entities work, and AI and stuff that it's all there really to kind of hijack our energy bodies and almost box up our energy. So really wanting to talk about in particular targeted individuals as well, although we're all targeted in different ways, some people more than others, and some people are targeted by different entities, and just during the course of the nearly 6 years worth of work that I've been doing on people in terms of energetic clearing of all kinds of different hijacking entities, psychic attacks, thought form entities, AI technology, AI implants, and also going down the path of sort of inner world healing, inner child healing, and just really learning about what sort of things are coming out from people, and how that really affects us, because it does affect us. We really only see in our physical form the 3D levels of the manipulation, and we see that through government and authority and extortion via violence, and all that kind of stuff. But they don't stop there. This goes on in the fourth dimension, and I've said this many a times, that you can look at this in two ways. Basically, you can look at it at poor us, victimhood, victim mentality. We're being hijacked, blah blah blah. Or, as I like to do, is just look at it the other way and just think, well, we must be really, really powerful for them to want to go to such lengths to, box us up, so to speak. And that's the way I look at it. This stuff, it's there, it's annoying. And for sure, a lot of people, particularly the more targeted individuals, and I'm sure many of you that will watch this will relate to some of this as I go on, but it's not very pleasant sometimes, and some people are very targeted, and this can be, for what I've learned over the years, is it can be for a multitude of different reasons. There's when I work with someone, you can kind of see why they would have targeted that person. So, for example, when I work with SRA victims, satanic ritual abuse victims, you can just tell why they've been targeted. They're just naturally very strong, very intuitive, very intelligent, despite a lot of horrific stuff going on in their lives. They've still retained a sense of humor, and for a lot of people, they wouldn't even be here. They would have suicided or something a long time ago. So it's really interesting seeing and working with these people, because you get to understand the power. I mean, we're all powerful, right? We all have gifts. Everyone has their thing going on. You'll have something that I won't have, and I'll have something that you won't have. But the point is that they will go after certain people more so, and and the encouraging thing is as well is that it doesn't matter, and I've seen this firsthand. It doesn't matter what you've been through in your life, and I know many of you have been through insufferable traumas, some of you watching this, but I've worked with people that have moved through that. They've gone through that, they've faced the dark night of the soul, so to speak, and that they become the person. This is the great irony with it. They become the person that this matrix was trying to stop them from being. And so I just want to encourage people out there that maybe just look at their lives and think, you know, I've just had so much going on, and you know, I just can't recover from it, because you can, and I know firsthand that you can through some of the amazing people I've worked with down the years. But the targeting really, what I've found out can start from in the womb, right? Okay, so for example, if you're in the womb and perhaps mum goes through a trauma, maybe she falls over, she has an accident, or perhaps she has a very toxic relationship with the father, that can cause you know, an energetic schism which gets passed on to the child in the womb. And basically the way these entities work and the way this hijacking works is it's in the times that you're really out of your center, or in trauma. That's when it kind of opens you up to these kind of energetic attacks. So working with some people, I've picked up on stuff in the womb and had to clear stuff even in the womb. Interestingly enough, I've also worked with people who have memories of not wanting to come out. I've worked with people that have said to me that they were in the birth canal not wanting to come out. So I think on some level, some of us know what it's like to, you know, this reality is very harsh. You know, we live in a world of conditional love. You know, we're so disconnected from unconditional love, and I think on a subconscious level, when we're born, you know, some of us know this, and so that's very interesting. And then obviously, you know, birth, right, is can also be very traumatic, not only for the mother but for the baby, because the way modern day birthing is done is completely unnatural. You know, just the position of the mother giving the birth, you know, like the cutting of the umbilical cord too early, just the baby getting taken away from the mother in its, you know, its first breaths, and you know, being put in incubators. So that's very traumatic for a child, or a baby really. And so if that baby goes into kind of some severe trauma, that can also lead to energetic interference. So it really starts, or it can start, before we even come out. And what I've spoken about before in other videos, and I'll just go over it again for people that haven't heard this, is that there is even so basically there's two kinds of souls that are incarnating here right now. So you have the human souls. These are the souls which have been round and round on the recycling mill. So what's happening is, for those of you that don't know, people are dying, they're being shown the false white light, where they're greeted with a false white light being, be it Jesus, Buddha, you know, someone in their physical life that they really respected. And so they get enticed into the light, and then they're sat down to have a life review. And so basically, ignorance doesn't die when we die. So if you've done no knowledge seeking in your physical life, you're not going to be protected just because you die, right? So people are being hoodwinked into this life review, where they're guilt tripped, and they'll say, you know, you're a good person, but in 2008 you hurt this person, and in 2011 you hurt this person. So unfortunately, you need to come back down and resolve your karma, okay? Otherwise, what are the consequences? Maybe you go to hell or something like that. So they rule by fear. And yeah, as I say, the human living in ignorance will buy into that. And then so they come back down for another round on Planet Crazy, where they're being used for their energy, they're being used for their physical harvesting, for this matrix construct. And so this has been going on a long time. So this soul recycling trap over and over again. So, and what's happened with the human souls is many of these lifetimes they go through severe trauma. So maybe war, poverty, scarcity, mind control, And so every time they come round, they're a little bit more disconnected from essence, the spirit, whatever you want to refer to it as. And so, when you talk about these kind of subjects, perhaps they just immediately call you crazy, very linear way of thinking, not holistic at all. And so they've basically been beaten down. And so essentially they're still very special souls, and the human souls, it's just, they've been hijacked, right? And so at the same time, we have what I refer to as non-human souls, and these are the souls that kind of volunteered to come here to try and help break this matrix. And so they've come here from a place of unconditional love. They know what it's going to be like here. They know it's not going to be an easy ride, but they've come to help with what's going on here, this shift. And so these non-human souls, because they haven't been round and round on this recycling mill, they tend to be a lot more connected to their hearts, to their intuitive abilities, to their psychic abilities, to their empathy. And so all these qualities are things that the Matrix just doesn't want. Doesn't want empathy, doesn't want people, in tune with their psychic abilities. It wants people watching TV, eating junk food, not questioning anything. And so these non-human souls are coming down with a kind of more heightened awareness. And these have been called things like rainbow children, crystal children, that kind of thing. So there is truth in that. And so the thing is with the non-human souls, and I would say that I work 99% of people that I work with are non-human souls. They're very targeted, right, for the reasons that I've just discussed, because they are coming down with, with a lot more connectedness to their true essence, and a lot more potential to effect change and to do damage to this matrix, and whatever their gift may be. Not everyone is going to come down and speak on a world stage. That's not how it works. Some people are here to raise conscious children. Some people just their heart energy. Some people just their frequency. You've met some of these people. You don't know why, but every time you're around them, you just feel good. Some people just have that kind of energy. Those people are targeted. People that are empaths, they don't want empathy. Empaths are transmuters of negative energy. So often they're very targeted, and so the non-human souls really can take a hit quite a lot, and even to the point whereby they're actually birth bumping. In terms of what happens on a soul level is you choose your family, but this matrix via your astrological signs and your birth chart can see the blueprint of your soul coming down, right? And so if you pose a particular threat, then they have the potential to bump you into a dysfunctional family, whereby you may experience abuse, trauma. This is what's happening to the kids that are born into the SRA families, whereby they are, their potential is known before they even get here, and they're bumped straight into these families where, of course, we know they go through horrific events, many of them. And so this is what's going on. I've worked with people, and they've said to me, Tony, I knew that I should have been born in France, or I knew I should have been born in Spain. I don't, or they feel like they were didn't really feel connected to their parents for whatever reason, never had that bond, that natural bond. And I'm not saying, of course, this applies to every non-human soul. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm just saying that it is a potentiality. If you are that kind of blueprint and you have had a very traumatic childhood, it may be a possibility that may have happened. And so I find that although this doesn't heal what's happened to a lot of people, it does perhaps explain why they may have had such a tough time. And that in itself can be quite healing. So the irony in all of this is that a lot of these non-human souls have been beaten down so much in their lives that they've actually just got this complete "I'm not worthy, I don't feel good enough" complex, and their power's been beaten out of them, and their gifts. But the irony is in all of that is that it's because of who you are. That is why you've had so much targeted. That is why it's through your power. They know that. That's why you've been hit so bad with whatever you've been hit with, right? So that's a very interesting thing that's going on. So the non-human souls that are here now, they're going through a lot of trauma, a lot of suffering to help with what's going on here. So really, when you think about it like that, it's unbelievable, that amount of unconditional love. Like, because when you talk to people and you say, "Oh, you chose to come here," most people would say, "No, I didn't." But on a higher level, I think many of us did, right? And so, yeah, that's what's going on that level. And then when you look in terms of the energetic targeting that's going on, so a lot of what I do is surrounding entity removal. That's part of what I remove in the sessions, and there's a whole array of different entities that are out there. So you have reptilian, draconian, demonic, satanic, Luciferian, incubus, succubus. You've got mantis beings. You've got insectoids, amphibanoids. You've got demiurge. So you've got a multitude of different entities that are out there, and interestingly enough, down the years, I've noticed sort of certain trends in the fact that certain people seem to be targeted by certain entities. So, for example, if I work on someone, perhaps they've got a history of alcohol abuse or drug abuse, there's often quite a cocaine habit. There's often quite a lot of demonic attachment there. The people that have been through abuse, that kind of stuff, can be a lot of reptilian stuff going on. And it also, I've noticed that the younger generation, if I work on anyone up to the age of about 30, but particularly below that, there does seem to be a lot of interference in terms of, quote unquote aliens. A lot of these deceivers, Arcturians, Pleiadians, they seem to take a very great interest in younger generations. People that get a lot of hijacking during dreams tend to have a lot of grey alien stuff going on. So I think they're working on the astral. They're like the gophers. So these entities, they have like a hierarchical system. So just like here in 3D, where we have the cult and then you have the people under the cult, the bankers, the corporations, and then under there you have the order followers, the military, and the kind of gophers. Same thing applies in that dimension in terms of these entities. So you have the higher uppers, and then you have the lackeys that are at the bottom of the pyramid. And each kind of entities has different strength. There's really powerful ones, and there's ones that are just annoying. And I kind of label them in three ways. And I've spoken about this before, but so a level 1 takeover would be someone. I don't know if you guys have ever seen videos of people on meths or on flakka, the drug flakka, whereby the person is completely taken over. They've almost got superhuman strength. We see this as well in certain exorcisms as well, where it's a very, very strong takeover. And then you have a very common, the level 2 takeovers, which are basically they come in on some kind of trauma, often like abuse, heavy alcohol abuse, drug abuse, or some kind of accident, maybe a near-death experience, something where maybe you were knocked out. And they can have a real influence over a person, and they can put suicidal thoughts in a person's mind. constant mind loops, getting them to do things that they wouldn't normally get. So they have a lot of control over the person and can cause a lot of problems. And then you have your level 3s, which are kind of annoying. They might encourage sort of bad habits, be the little voice in your head that says, you're not good enough, all that kind of stuff. So we all have this stuff going on to certain degrees, but it all goes on in different levels and to different people depending on how targeted you are. And so obviously one of the things that I do in my work is we remove the artificial overlays, the chakras being one of them. I've spoken many times about the chakras being one of the main ways they have access to our energy field, because the chakras are nothing more than an AI implant where these entities use to lock in and mind loop and just basically siphon off our energy. But there's also other overlays as well, like they've overlaid the astral body. So by what's happening is via our subconscious wounds, they're projecting bad dreams or nightmares. This is why it's so important to do the inner work, the subconscious work. And we don't always remember these dreams, obviously. But these, so because they've overlaid the astral body, these entities, they are feeding on people during the night, which is why you can sleep for 12 hours and wake up feeling like you never slept before. Not never slept before, but never slept at all, okay? So yeah, there's all that going on. And actually one of the main feedback that I get is that after I've worked with someone, they tend to feel more rested, well rested. They've waken up with more energy. So part of that is because that astral body overlay has been removed. So yeah, we're targeted during the day, a lot of us. But then we go to sleep at night, and I've spoken before, the astral realm. There's all this. Everyone in the new age wants to astral travel, to take these psychedelics to go into the astral. I'm telling you, for me, there's nothing there you want to be exploring, right? It's full of deceptive beings, and so I encourage people to stay in your body. There's basically, when you go into that astral realm, it's part of this false god matrix. This kind of it's like a false high that they put you into, so you feel like you're getting real insights and seeing the universe for how it really is, when actually it's just another layer of the matrix. We go way beyond this false god matrix. It's a joke, really. It's just one big trap. So I would be very careful, anyone that's kind of exploring that side of things. Not telling you what to do, I'm just telling you how it works, and particularly with this obsession now of psychedelics and particularly ayahuasca and things like this. I work with people. They take ayahuasca at DMT they're feeling fine on the Friday, take it at the weekend. On the Monday, they're getting suicidal thoughts. And even if you're getting great insights or feel like you're getting great insights, I feel like you're being shown like a deceptive reality. It's not the true nature of how things are. It's this false god matrix. So yeah, the targeting at night is going on, and then we have like just targeting from other people, like psychic attacks. So psychic attacks are basically if someone thinks like, I want you to die, or I hate you, or you've got a toxic ex-partner or a toxic mother-in-law, and they're having all these like really nasty thoughts about you. That's psychic energy that sticks onto your energy field, right? And so that can drain you. And people can even create thought form entities. So whereby if you obsess over a person, maybe you're really jealous of them or whatever, and it's just constant, you can actually create entities that stick on that person's energy field, and we can create them ourselves. So that's also going on. So we also have other people to deal with. And anyone that's watching my channel will know that quite a lot of people as well have heavy attachments going on. And it's a sad thing that we have to talk about, but if we don't, then we're not going to be able to protect and shield ourselves. And I'm not telling people, we have to hide away and never interact with people or anything like that. I mean, it's bad enough as it is with the whole social distancing and all this BS, right? But what I'm saying is you just need to be very discerning, because we're living in a reality where these forces are interfacing with people and working through people in many respects. And I've seen this firsthand, through my own experiences, where I can see the entity working through the person. And often when people do things like muggings and murder and things like this, I'm not abstaining all responsibility from the human, but there's a high chance that person has got a very strong entity attachment going on. And I know, again, through working through people, that this cult, the reason that they do all this abuse and torturing of children, is because their human body is a shell, and it's being used by these entities, right? And these entities have their own agenda. So they will target certain children at birth because they know the blueprint. They will try and set things up in these families, and they know what they're doing, right? And so we just have to realize, we have to understand that we are dealing with other forces in physical form here, demons in human form as well. And so people can get taken over for a number of reasons. Maybe they just go down the path of drugs and alcohol, and that opens you up. We know alcohol opens you up. That's why it's called spirits, right? Spirits for a reason. And some people just give up, and then their body is just free to be taken over by some of these beings. And so these beings are there working through people, and they can influence people. They can enter relationships, and they're very deceptive. So again, on the surface, you might meet someone and you might think that they're everything that you wish for. But down the line, things can change, and chances are there might be something there that's kind of infiltrated there. So particularly if you're on a path, you're on a path of waking people up or healing people, or, just in line with truth or whatever, other people can come into your lives, and you can be targeted through other people. So that's also going on. And then, of course, we have all the AI stuff, the AI implants and the AI tech, which is infused in our biological makeup. So a lot of these implants are targeting key areas of the body that they want to shut down, like the heart, the neocortex area of the brain. All these areas they want to try and hijack and distort our energy, so we feel less connected to all of these things. So there's a lot of implants that we have, and then of course the AI tech is, and sorry, just going back to the implants, when you look at the kind of stuff that Elon Musk is bringing out now with the Neuralink and the Neurolace and the neuro implants, so they're just manifesting here now, right? But they're already there in 4D. These implants are already there, as above, so below, right? So so more and more of these this tech is coming out, and of course it's being sold as good to us. But it's already there in the etheric, right? This stuff's already there, hijacking our energy. And so, yeah, and just the actual AI tech that's infused. So we're basically set up like computers. We have algorithms running through us. We have interfaces. We have viruses. And so transhumanism, again, something that is going to be rolling out in 3D, through nanotechnology and stuff like that. Merging man with computer or man with machine, that is already there in 4D. This energetic etheric AI, hybrid technology, bionic, mechatronic, automation, all this tech is there infused within us. And so this is really affecting our energy, making us feel even more dense and heavy, and everything like that. And again, taking us away from our cosmic connection and our connection to our spirit and our soul. So yeah, all of this stuff is there, and it all gets removed. So it's just unbelievable, really, the kind of levels of what they've gone to or had to go to try and hold us back. It's really crazy. And as I say, some people have a much more rough time than others. And then, of course, you've got the psychotronic weapons, the thought injection technology, thought projection, mind control technology, voice to skull technology, voice of God technology. You've got all the black ops tech. Then you've got cloak technology. You've got entities that are cloaked. It's really a minefield. So I just wanted to explain a little bit about the depths of it all, and perhaps if you feel like you're targeted, how this stuff really plays out in our lives. And it's been a pleasure for me to work with people down the years to really understand and learn about this on a deep level. And so guys, if you're interested in working with me, I'll put the link in the description below, or you can reach out on my email if you've got any questions. Hope you found this helpful, and like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys.